Full time at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Newcastle 0. We can all take a breath now. 3 points in the bag. Breathe. I'm going to put my Aura stats, because I wear it all the time, on the screen just so you guys can see exactly what this club is doing to me on a daily basis. And for anybody that questions my fandom, this club is actively trying to kill me. This was a game of two halves. It was a game of a bunch of different stuff, and I'm going to get right into it right now. And so let's break it down. Here are my 5 things from Manchester United 1, Newcastle 0 on Boxing Day. Coming in at number 1, lesson number 1, we got the thing that everyone has been asking for. Right from minute 1, we got a 4-back. It was a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-1-2-1-2. It was a narrow formation. I'll have the heat map up right here. It was different, and it threw everyone off. I think from the way that the pundits were talking about it beforehand and the way that the back three was warming up, everyone assumed that they were going straight back into the normal Amorim formation, and it threw everyone off. It threw me off. It clearly threw Eddie Howe off to the point where he needed to make Ramsdale fake an injury so that he could get his tactics right. But what a performance in that first half. It was fluid. It was one-touch football. It was counterattacking. It's what United is in its core, but particularly with the amount of depletion within the squad, Manchester United have to play counterattacking football. It wasn't a choice. So for Amorim to notice that, to know that, and to adapt, you got to give him credit for it. We'll get into some criticism later, but that first half in particular was phenomenal, and it really put a lot of players that have been playing poorly in key spots for themselves. Ugarte is a main example. I think it's pretty clear now that he's been misprofiled over his career, and when he was shipped off to PSG, I think there was this idea that he was a destroyer, and that was my assumption coming into it, not watching him every week, but he's clearly not that. He's a defensive-minded 8 that when you give him free reign to kind of just run around and, for a lack of better terms, kick shins, he can do a job. This formation, the 4-2-3-1, allowed him to do that. It allowed Casemiro to be his cover. It allowed Martinez to help him out. And ultimately, United come away with 3 points because of this switch. And Patrick Dorgu is another example. A player that has been struggling in possession as a wingback was given the license to go one-on-one with people. And I'm going to transition this now from the formation change because it ultimately came down to individual brilliance on the day for United to get all 3 points. And that starts with lesson number 2, which is Patrick Dorgu. I am Patrick Dorgu Hive. There will not be a bigger fan of Patrick Dorgu, I think, at this club than me. I just think the kid has a lot of raw potential. And in a sport that is leaning so far into athleticism and speed and directness, Dorgu gives you a lot of that. And today, in particular, he was super direct on the wings, but what was more important is Newcastle's best player was Lewis Hall. And the stark difference from what Hall was able to do in the first half compared to in the second half is night and day. And it comes down to Patrick Dorgu tracking back and being on his ass. I don't think he's going to get enough credit for that. And also, I don't think he's going to get credit for the amount of interlinking and interplay that he's had in the middle of the park in this match. But that goal was phenomenal. It's a nice moment for a young player who I think has been under a lot of criticism, not necessarily all for his fault, but for him to get that moment at Old Trafford in a huge match where he was asked to do a position he hasn't played in, a little over a year. It was good to see from Patrick Dorgu. I'm excited about his future. I still think this guy's got tons and tons of potential. And hopefully we can see more of that going forward. I thought he was great in all phases, and towards the end of the game in particular, I thought he helped with Cunha to see out the match by being direct and just pushing the ball forward. So shout out to Patrick Dorgu on his first Manchester United goal and the 3 points that he helped pick up. Now, let's be negative. Let's get into lesson number 3, which is Amorim's subs almost cost Manchester United. And again, I'm going to throw up the formation that was played. It just doesn't make sense. Casemiro, and I'll put up all the images here, Casemiro looked confused as hell. Why the fuck are you taking me off? And I think it all stems from the Mount injury. I think that Rúben Amorim, and at a lot of points during his managerial career at Manchester United, has played timid and has played scared. When Mason Mount went down with the injury, I think that his tactical plan with this 4-back, I think he just lost the idea. I think he lost the plot. I think when Newcastle came at them very quickly with the Fletcher substitution, he just went back to whatever he thinks is best or whatever he thinks is comfortable, and that's the 3-back. And it clearly wasn't the right play. It ended up getting 3 points, so I guess you get credit for picking up 3 points as the manager, but I thought that he put United under a lot of unnecessary pressure in this one. When you look at these heat maps and putting on Lenny Yoro, putting on Joshua Zirkzee, putting on Terrell Malacia, like I know and that's just another point in itself, is with all the depletion of the squad, there's nothing that he could really go to. But I would have liked to see him stick it out with the 4-back. Because United, in that first half, were playing counterattacking football. In the second half, they were defending their lives. They were defending everything that they had. It was one-way traffic for 45 minutes. And like last week where United were unlucky and probably deserved more from this result, this week you could say the opposite. And it solely comes down to that. When you play timid and when you play scared, you open yourself up to that level of scrutiny. And you open yourself up to being vulnerable against good teams. United are lucky that Newcastle are void of really goal scorers right now. I think that they're really struggling. If Voltamata doesn't have it going, then they don't have it going. But against other sides, you play that way and you're going to lose every match by a lot. And the fact that they came away with a clean sheet in this one, I'm almost at a loss of words. So Amram's got to play with some confidence. He's got to know that even if he puts Zirkzee out there, or he puts in a Fletcher, you have to just play with what's working with the squad, and that's the 4-back. Even though out of possession it was a 4-4-2, it doesn't matter. Like, they just conceded way too much control and tempo within the game. Against a better side on a day, they will make you pay for those mistakes. So that's lesson number 3. Now, lesson number 4, I want to single out, I wish I could do another 5 things for the entire back line and the goalkeeper today. They were all great. I'm not going to focus on Shaw and Dalot. I think I've given them enough praise in the videos prior. But Martinez, Heaven, and Lamans. What a result. What a performance. Licha coming back in his first start, getting the armband, and fuck, this guy's brilliant. When United fans talk about Lisandro Martinez and other fans don't understand, watch this result back. Doesn't matter his size. It doesn't matter his overall health. This guy just consistently gives you 7 out of 10s. This is one of the most physical teams in the league. Lisandro Martinez is up to the task. United needed a leader today. After not playing a start in well over 6 months, Lisandro Martinez comes in off an ACL injury, another knee injury, and puts in an 88-minute shift where he was brilliant. And he should have had an assist. The guy is just a phenomenal footballer. His intelligence is off the fucking charts. I'm in love with him as a character in this room, a character for the squad. There's a reason he was given the armband. He's captain material, and he's genuinely the thing that I think helped United get over the edge today. Now, on the other side, there was a young buck that cost us $1 million from Arsenal, and he got a clean sheet today, and he looked phenomenal doing it. Aiden Heaven, I think at the beginning of the season, I said at some point during the season he will become a full-on starter. I wasn't expecting it this soon, but this guy's raw athleticism, his ability on the ball, and his IQ for someone as young as he is really phenomenal. And Amorim clearly trusts him a lot because in a big moment where, again, the substitutions were crazy, he took off the captain and the center back that he was partnered with all game. And he said, Aiden Heaven, go out there with Yoro and Fletcher and Fredrickson and Ugarte and go get us a result here. We need a clean sheet. And he fucking stepped up. That's awesome. That when people talk about youth, courage, success, the United pillars, Aiden Heaven is a great example. This is why when people talk about playing the youth and getting angry at Amorim for the Manu stuff, this is why. Is because the youth will 9 out of 10 times not disappoint you for giving them a shot. Aiden Heaven has stepped into a critical junction of Manchester United season and has balled out. And today, against one of the best strikers in the league and against one of the best midfielders in the league and midfields in general in the league, he looked great. And I'll round it off with lemons. This is the difference between Onana and Bayindir and a guy that is, again, young, inexperienced, but knows when to step up in moments. The high claims at the end of the game against this Newcastle side cannot be understated. United needed a cool head. He showed up. This is the difference. That game, I can almost guarantee you, if Bayindir's in net or if Onana's still here, United dropped 3 points. They just flat out dropped 3 points. This guy is a rock, and he's mentally solid. For someone so young to step into this Manchester United side with the amount of goals that they've conceded, like they haven't held a clean sheet in 10 games. They've only had, this was the second. He looks like a goalkeeper that keeps clean sheets every single week. That's the level of confidence he plays with. I'm a huge fan. And the entire backline, with the clean sheet in mind, get massive credit and props. So that is lesson number 4. And now, the granddaddy of them all. Lesson number 5. 3 points. It's a massive result. It's massive for Amorim. It's massive for the players. It's massive for the confidence. United now sit tied for 5th. Tied for 4th. With Chelsea and Liverpool. 29 points. So United, after this result, picking up 3 points, now they go and play Wolves before the new year, Leeds after the new year, and Burnley after that. United have a chance here to go on a run in a portion of the season or a junction of the season where they should not be able to. Not with all the injuries and all the AFCON absences. A critical junction in United's season. If United can go and build off of this performance, because this performance is great and you're scrappy and maybe a little lucky and you pick up 3 points. But the important part now is to improve and to stack wins. United don't stack wins. This is a critical junction. They have to stack wins now. And that's why this is such a big result. Because instead of having 2 straight losses, which United haven't had in the Premier League this season, they now are off a good result at home and can springboard potentially their season with what should or could be 9 points. Leeds is a tough test, but Wolves at home and Burnley away from home, you got to be looking to at least get 6 out of 9 there. But it's enough from me. I'm Dylan from C.O.C. Network. This is a Clash of Clubs, little 5 things we learned from Manchester United 1, Newcastle 0. Let me know what you thought of the match. Let me know if you like this content. Let me know if you're feeling good as a United fan or if you're just happy to get away with 3 points. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. I'd love to have a conversation, so go in the comments there and let me know what you thought of the match. But subscribe, hit the notification bell. We have content coming out pretty much every single day, and if you like what I have to say or you want to hear stuff about Chelsea or City, we've got stuff for you. But I'll leave it there. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one.